Hey guys, welcome back. It's Grimreaper coming at you for another video of Raid Shadows. Hopefully you guys are doing well and having a great start to the week. I know I am going to be very busy. Hopefully you guys are looking forward and it's not too burnt out for the events. And hopefully you're looking forward to this fusion that goes live this Thursday. I want to hear from you guys down below where you guys are going to go for him and where do you think he's going to be useful for your account. Personally, I think overall he's not a bad champion. I think he might be a little bit overhyped, but that sheep ability is going to be really annoying, and that AoE on the 8-2 seems really cool for like her city content and Doom Tower, depending where you are in this game. Obviously, faction wars as well, but mainly for in-game players, he will become a quite annoying champion for sheep, right? You can bypass UDK's passive as well with a sheep, which is going to be very interesting. But also as well, like it's a bit disappointing that he's weak affinity to UDK because I'm pretty sure he can weak it. Anyway, let's get into today's video. We've got another champion showcase for you. I've been working on this for a while and waiting for this. So we're going to do a champion showcase on no other than the first ever Raidshadowlegends Banner Lords leader, right? So they are now doing leaders. I've been looking forward to this guy. I've gone up against him a few times in arena and I've not been that impressed by him. But Benny generally has a cool one, right? So attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance to place a stun, will ignore 25% target's resistance if the champion is under a shield. I don't know how that kind of works at the moment. I'm under the pressure from reading it. If it's 600 accuracy, then it will lower the accuracy requirement maybe by 25%, which would be 150, right? So it'd be 450 if I'm not mistaken. Let me know in the comments if that is true or not. Anyway, and then he will heal all allies by a total value of all shields on all allies, then remove all shields from all allies, and then tax all enemies. The shield, the damage dealt by this is equal to the total value of the shields removed. Damage cannot exceed 1000 more of this champion's defense. So it is a big hit, but not a lot of people are using him for that ability to hit, to be honest. So yeah. So it's this one that really makes him stand out, right? Places a shield debuff equivalent to 30% of the max champion's HP on all allies for 2 turns, and has ally protection, which is the strongest buff right now in Raidshadowlegends. So for one Guardian faction, instantly activate the skill whenever a ally is revived. Will not put their skills on cooldown. Will not put their skills on cooldown if there is multiple champions of this team. So only activate once, and then if there's 2 champions in the team, it will also place a block damage debuff on its champion for 2 turns. And then for the third one, it will become a buff placed by the skill cannot be removed, which is pretty cool, right? So it puts block damage on itself and stuff like that. So the book value as well, so he's got some stuff going on here as well from passive. So he's got shields and etc, immune to some stuff and etc, right? So really strong passive as well, and has a really strong defense aura. Okay, so and HP aura. So again, good base stats. Honestly, not too many books. What, like we've got 7, 10, which is pretty standard, not too bad overall for books. It's normally, I think it's normally 8 to 12 per legendary, averagely. I think 12 is on the heavy side, right? So it's one of them ones. Good base speed as well, 106, which is pretty high for a defense legendary. Okay, so we have done that. Let's go and take him into the arena. But before we take him into the arena, I think there's some key champions that really kind of look at, right? Obviously, Torisk and Rishka, the strongest 2 with him, which would be super cool. I think Quintus or Baron as well could be super cool if you're able to build some support. But I think like she could be quite good with ACELIN, we're gonna call him Ace. With Ace, maybe like Quintus, and then maybe like Ronda on status life bane, which would be super cool. So there's a couple of key champions that can make this work. We don't have these champions available right now, so that's something that's a bit of hit miss. But we're gonna do the strongest duo in Raidshadowlegends, which is Taurus and Rishka. I still think that overall they're a little bit stronger and still like the strongest duo in the game, but they're just the strongest in this game. There's not a big difference there. Anyway, so we are going to take on a couple of fights and stuff like that. Let's go test them out. So I know that Rodus is a bit of a problem, and also Monkey is a bit of a problem as well. So we're going to go ahead and do a couple of fights and just kind of showcase his Bannerlord's passives with the strongest duo right now in Raidshadowlegends. So I still think they're the strongest duo in Raid, to be honest. I think it's pretty close between the other duos, but they're still stronger on the defense as well. So I'm not going to open up with this, but I'm going to do the tour into Marishka, try to get rid of her. So we have no disadvantage there for us. And obviously the Monkey comes in with his nice little abilities there. Try and go for Pythian. Okay, that's okay. We'll take out Marishka there. She'll come back up in a second. No, okay. It's a slight heal. Pythian really doing quite well actually with that damage mitigation, with all the buffs on him and stuff. I'm surprised Royce didn't survive because of his passive. And then one. We get sheeped, meh. And we are going to clean up pretty quickly as well, right? So Taurus is there. We could take on other Taurus and stuff like that. More kind of interested in champions like Georgie and Lockout, which are like super hard to kind of deal with, right? Because Georgie hits extremely hard, and Georgie has that ability as well to ignore stone skin, to ignore block damage, pretty much anything, right? So it'll be interesting to see like a damage test, but how much damage test we can take. So let's go ahead and put up the ally protection and stuff like that. As you can see, he does go from Rishka and he receives quite a bit of damage here, which is very interesting. I'm actually going to go with A3 straight away because we have a couple of buffs on us. And we're able to take out them very easily, right? So, I mean, he lasted 36 seconds. So, not too shabby. We have another one here with a couple of mythicals. Let's give them a little tango, because mythicals are like probably on the same level of Taurus and Rishka. I think that they're undervalued when you kind of value them like a Taurus and Rishka, right? So let's see. I suppose again, this Orgil hits extremely hard in the second form. Probably one of the hardest hitting champions right now in Raid. So let's go ahead, put our shields up. I'm ready. Get ready for her second form. So she will come in with the second form. Does quite a bit of damage, a little bit to us anyway. And then we're actually going to hurt her a little bit there. And then the mythical getting us with the passive. Pretty nice. Which also gives us a cleanse. So the petrification actually does remove the debuffs, which is actually, I don't know if that's meant to work intentionally. Very interesting if that works intentionally. You can see there we got block, we got the shield and the ally attack, the ally protection up straight away, right? Once they hit us, once we revived, which is super cool to see. This is a +4 and mythical right now, so this is definitely putting us through the pressures of the damage. And as you can see, we survived long enough to kind of come in, which I think, like, personally, I think it's wrong that legendaries are stronger than mythicals, but you can generally see that this was pretty strong. Like, this is a super strong player. He's like top 20, top 10 plat. Player power doesn't really do anything, and this is like really impressive, right? Like, she is like a +9, +10 if you take the mythical stats and the fully awaken and empowerment. So that is like pretty good, and we did it in 1 minute 35. It's not like I'm sitting here for 3 minutes. So yeah, overall I really do enjoy that, so it's really cool to see, right? Anyway, you know what would be more cool? If I had this duo on my account. That is what would be more cool, but I still would say that they need to be nerfed, really. I think the king and the queen's a good balance to them a little bit, but still lacking just that little extra, I think, which I'm hoping that this new legendary on the Optim missions are super cool. I wonder when that's going to go live. Hopefully it'll go live this week, because that would be super cool to see go live this week. So we're going to try and take out Rodus, because Rodus is just annoying, and we know how difficult he is. We're not going to be able to put anything up because we're locked out. But it's just kind of good to see what kind of support that they can bring once they're locked out, because the lockout is definitely the weakness of the duo. Especially for me, I can farm Taurus Kamishka duo now quite easily with a lockout and a new king and queen. So that's not even like super crazy gear. Obviously, I did a video on them the other day, so I'll ping that up the top and you can go check that out. I've got a few style teams there as well. That's actually on my account. We're on Mr. Blazing's account as well. So that's super cool. Let's do a few more here. C3 Rodus again, super strong. I don't think like it's a worth doing Taurus Kamishka versus Taurus Kamishka. It's just slow and dull, to be honest. And the reason why I won't take on the king and queen right now is because I know with the right setup we will lose, because I know how strong they are. So it's just not me being naive to kind of consider that. So we get sheeped, which is nice to see. We get double Taurus. I think this is the only downfall, is we are missing UDK against the monkey there a little bit. So that's kind of something interesting. And this will also be something interesting with the new champion coming in with this fusion. I was actually going to skip the fusion, but now because it's arena champion, I'm actually going to be doing it. So I was going to skip it. I was hoping to skip this month. So as you can see, Rodus can be absolute pain towards the duo as well. Rodus is probably, before the king came out, was the best counter to the duo. So it's one of them ones, really. Let's have a look. Are we gonna win this? Are we too done? We took too much damage. Let's have a look. Alright, looks like we're gonna lose this. So it is what it is. Anyway, let's go ahead and see if we can find one more. Maybe I'm gonna do this on Fort. No, I don't want to bring UDK in. I can beat that if I bring UDK, but we got King Queen here. King. I think it's just literally full of duo right now. Gypsy, okay, got super strong Georgie. We have Yumiko, Arb, and Necrid. So again, like a +9. I think it's like a +9. Definitely it's definitely a +8 Georgie right now with the fully awakened stats, which is honestly is really like scary, no? Because the stats he's got on there, even if the gear is awful, the stats he's gonna have, it's just gonna overshadow the gear. That's the thing with the empowerment and blessings now. It's like you can bypass now having crazy gear if your bank account's big enough. So, and then you're challenging for top 100 for plat if your bank account's big enough. Which I don't feel like Raid's always been like that, but it definitely is now. Especially as well, you can buy oil. So, I suppose you could say it was with being able to buy the savage packs and stuff, right? But again, nothing really to worry about. Georgie's definitely not getting through there. So, sorry, Georgie. You are going to go to the bottom of the pile. So, yeah. Anyway, so let's go into the gear and let's talk about some recommendations on this. I think this guy would be super solid with status life bane. I think he would be like anyone that doesn't have toys and Rishka does would want to think about using him. So obviously you'd have to take someone like Sifi or Mafala to bring increased defense, because unfortunately it doesn't bring increased defense itself, but you'd still get the block damage, but you could be stripped. That's the only thing to kind of take into consideration. And you'd have to bring in some type of support. So I think like status Cephalia, which would give you a chance of being sheeped, and ACELIN, that would be like a pretty solid gold 5 comp, right? Maybe a pretty solid live arena comp and stuff like that. Maybe Quintus as well, or Baron if you're lucky enough to have them champions. So the speed is 307, defense is 4,698, and then we have a HP of 107, 58. So this is Blazing's build. I haven't actually changed Blazing build. I could have. If I was gonna do this, I would probably, the only thing that I'd change out of all this duo is I would actually put in one of these Taurus in Stone Skin, just generally because of I would look at the fact of defense, and I think like now King and Queen is very strong, but if there's a Taurus in a Stone Skin, it's a whole new ball game, right? So for me, I would put one of these Taurus in Stone Skin. So there's not so much specifically I'd change Ace's build. I would change that. I would then have to go like triple reaction. Plus I would go 6p Stone Skin. I think he's got very good HP. So if you wanted to run slower, I would say maybe 4p Stone Skin and a bolster set if you can get it, and then whatever reaction you can get on the bottom row would be like a super ideal build on him. I think then you get really good utility from the bolster if you're a slower and a bit more survivability, and then having that Stone Skin Taurus as well, which will give you a bit more there, and maybe just slow down the team a little bit there. Masteries, okay, Bulwark is a tier 6 mastery that I would generally would take as well. I agree here. I would probably take Lasting Gifts as well. Not too sure why Blaze hasn't got the Lasting Gifts, but that'd be something. And I probably would take Retribution because it does have a stun on the A1 and ignores 25% resistance and stuff like that. So again, Cycle of Magic, super strong. Rapid Response is nice for extra turn meter. I might even suggest to take Cycle of Violence, because if you get crit, you can jump ahead of them and just kind of do what you need to do with the Taurus or something like that. So I think Cycle of Violence could be cool. I don't think Elastic Gifts will work. I suppose it would work on the shields and ally protection, so that could be another one to take as well. So if that's the only changes I'd probably make over this build, I think it's a super strong build. Overall, I think he deserves a 8 out of 10. I don't think he's super crazy strong. I don't think he's OP. but I think with definitely Taurus and Marishka is OP. The problem is you put UDK here, OP. You put Rhodas here, OP. You put King and Queen here, OP, right? You put a lockout champion, OP. So like it's not so much itself that's OP, it's the champions that's available is faction that are OP. If Taurus and Marishka wasn't so strong, I don't think that we would be really looking at him so much. He has a great kit overall. I really like his kit. I think he has great potential to be a carry for early new game, especially with the new login for like Hydra and stuff like that. I think that would be a little bit underrated, especially with like the shields and stuff like that coming in and the protection he can bring. I also think that it could be a cool carry for like dungeons and stuff like that as well. So there is my overall showcase. Hopefully I haven't chatted too long. I will thank you, Blazing, for allowing me to buy your account and test this champion. Overall, I think he's a great champion and definitely worth every penny that you spent. So hopefully that is a good buy. Anyway, thank you for watching my video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I've been Grim Reaper. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.